Open source powers almost everything we use today, from the apps on our phones to the infrastructure behind global companies. Open source is everywhere. And yet, the people maintaining this software are often invisible. We talk about open source as if it's free, limitless, and self sustaining. But the truth is much harder and more human. Open source is often built and maintained by people, and many of these people are tired. Over the years, I've watched incredibly important open source projects struggle, not because they weren't useful or loved, but because the responsibility of maintaining them often fell on very few shoulders. One person or a small group of people managing issues, reviewing pull requests, writing documentation, answering questions, fixing bugs, and handling security concerns, often without pay or recognition. Burnout in open source doesn't usually look dramatic. Most of the time, it's quiet. Maintainers slowly disengage, issues go unanswered, releases slow down, and eventually, a project that thousands or millions depend on simply dies. What makes this especially difficult is that these projects often sit at the core of commercial products. Companies build on open source without even realizing how fragile that foundation is. When a project becomes unmaintained, it doesn't just affect the maintainer, it creates security risks, operational risks, and long-term sustainability problems for everyone who depends on it. By the time organizations notice, it's already too late, and the response often becomes reactive instead of preventive. OSPush was created because this model is broken, and it doesn't have to be this way. We believe the problem is not a lack of goodwill, it's a lack of structure, it's a lack of shared responsibility and consistent participation. Open source has been treated like something a few passionate individuals should carry rather than something the entire ecosystem should sustain together. OSPush exists to change that by making contribution a normal, expected and supported part of how we all use open source. At its core, OSPush is about consistency over the heroics. Instead of asking people to do everything, we're asking many people to do something regularly. We encourage engineers, designers, writers, product managers, and technologists of all kinds to commit to contributing to open source at least once every month. That contribution might be code, it might be design, testing, issue triage, or community support. All of it matters. When contribution becomes small, regular, and shared, maintainers are no longer carrying the full weight alone. OSPush is about legitimacy. So many contributors feel like open source work has to happen late at night or on weekends or squeezed around real work. We believe contributing to open source should be recognized as real, valuable work. For individuals, it's a powerful way for you to learn, grow, and make an impact beyond a single company. For maintainers, it's the difference between survival and burnout. And for companies, it's a way to protect the software they rely on while also supporting the people behind it. Companies play an important role in this ecosystem whether they recognize it or not. Most modern organizations depend heavily on open source, but very few have clear strategies for contributing back in a meaningful, sustained way. OSPush works with companies to help them move from passive consumption to active stewardship. This isn't about guilt or obligation, it's about long-term thinking. Healthy open source projects have fewer vulnerabilities, stronger engineering teams, and more resilient products. If you are a maintainer, OSPush is here to remind you that you're not alone and that your work matters more than many people realize. And if you're an individual contributor, OSPush is here to show you that your time and effort, even in small amounts, can make a real difference. And if you're a company building on open source, OSPush is an invitation to step into stewardship and not just dependency. Open source has given us so much. OSPush exists to make sure we give back in a way that keeps it alive, healthy, and human. Thank you for being a part of this journey with us.